Hi, my name is Janelle Bryant. I am an elementary literacy coach and reading interventionist, and I've been with DC Public Schools for 12 years.
Hi, my name is Renee Ramble. I am a middle school reading instructor, and I've been with DC Public Schools since 2003.
Academic partnership is when the school and family unite and collaborate for the sake of student success. A lot of their collaboration and partnership is around the student, particularly their academic goals, accomplishments, and achievements.
So to add to that point, it's important to collaborate and have academic partnerships because parents want to feel like they're not left in the dark and they want to be a part of their child's academic experience. Children need to see that their parents and their teachers are on the same page. And so it's very important that we come together as a team for the greater good of the child's success.
I love what Renee said because parents are their child's first teachers, and we need to acknowledge that, and we need to ensure that we are getting their support in whatever we're trying to do to achieve a goal of student success. And so if we use them in a collaborative effort, then we know that we can make our goals for our students a reality and accelerate student learning.
On the secondary level, academic partnership looks a little different than the elementary school level, because at the elementary school level, you have parents maybe working with one core teacher, and then at the secondary and high school level, you have multiple core teachers, and you have to navigate around different rules, different strategies. And so it's just important for there to be some type of plan and some gateway in for parents to have a part and a say-so in their child's education. DCPS has some strategies for academic partnering with parents. One of those strategies is sharing power with families. That is when parents feel like they have a voice and they are very active in the decision-making of their child's academic success. They don't feel like they're left out, they're invited in, and their feedback is not only listened to, but taken into account when teachers are planning.
To me, shared power means it's a two-way street. So I am not the only one comfortable reaching out to a family, that a family feels like they have every right and they're comfortable with coming and approaching us in the school to discuss their students' goals and academics.
So to add on to your point, students also have a voice in their academic success, and they should have some type of ownership and feel like they have ownership in their academic experience. Another strategy that DCPS uses is having collaborative, goal-setting parent-teacher conferences. This is when the parents are invited, the student is present, and the child is involved in setting goals, and so is the parent. And not just setting generic goals, you're setting very specific goals when you have these conferences. And you're making the material and the data for parents very easy to understand, and you're giving some action steps to parents. I think parents sometimes feel like they're left in the dark because they don't always understand like the data, understand their child's goals. But when you have these collaborative conferences, it's very clear what the goal is for the student and how the parent can best support that student from at home.
I like to communicate often with parents and families to ensure that they have accessible and actionable information about students' academics. I like to think about a touch point with each family once a month. And so they always have a pulse on what is going on in the classroom. For me as a literacy coach, that's really important to ensure that they're making benchmarks and they're meeting their goals. And so that looks different for different families in different contexts. I ask families how they like to be communicated. And so I might send them an email with a video of a recording of their child reading, or I could send their latest data in a text message with their child being really excited and proud of their work.
I really like what Janelle said about having touch points with parents. Sometimes teachers may only inform parents when things are not going well, but those positive touch points really make a difference in a child's success and their motivation. And it really does allow the parent to feel like they have a huge role in their child's academic experience, and it makes them feel like they're really supporting their child from home and advocating for them.
Yeah, definitely. I also think that it's really amazing to give some power to families in this moment. And so oftentimes I know parents and families are working with their students at home. And so showing them those positive, learning experiences that are happening, oftentimes I thank them because I know that it couldn't happen without their support. Once or twice a year, I like to share resources, a specific skill where a parent can work with their child at home. It's usually an activity that the child is familiar with, and so it's not something that the parents need to learn how to do. A child can actually teach their parent and play at the activity at home. This is usually centered around some sort of fluency skill where it's something that they can continue to do and build on. And I ask families, I'm checking in with them, reminding them to do the activity, reminding them that we're practicing at school and we would love if they're continuing to practice at home. I check in with them to ensure that they have all the resources that they need. And then I'm asking them to, let us know how it's going at home. So it's a conversation that we're having. Do you feel like it's too easy for your child? If so, I can send more materials or the next activity. And we celebrate those successes at school. So I really like to acknowledge students if their parents send me any type of video or picture of them doing it. I will pull a child aside and say, oh my goodness, you've worked so hard. I can tell you're working at home. Your family sent, these images to us, and I'm really proud of your work.
So one success story that I have with academic partnering is with a young man who really struggled with reading. He had a couple of years where he was not reading on grade level. And so I reached out to the family and we sat down and we came up with some goals. So the beginning of the year was just to find the baseline where he was reading. And the middle of the year, our conference was to set some goals. So I gave her some concrete, actionable steps. So she was to read with him 20 minutes a night. I gave her specific books to read with him, specific questions to ask him. And we continued to have a conference every 2 weeks just to see how things were going. And by the end of the school year, this young man not only met his reading goal, but he surpassed his goal. And what was so awesome about that was that the parent was so appreciative, and she also got to feel as though she was directly involved in her child's success. And the biggest thing with the young man was he felt so much more confident. It was just a great experience.
I have a success story about academic partnering that I'd like to share. I came across a student who really struggled during COVID. During that time, the family found out that he was colorblind. And so you can only imagine the frustration that he felt sitting at a computer for days and months. And so when I met the student and their family, they really expressed the frustration and they were really vulnerable with me. The parents really didn't know where to turn and how to navigate this. And I didn't either. This was my first time coming across a student that was colorblind. It took a lot of research. It took a lot of collaboration. But we were able to get the student some support so that he was able to access all the materials. And it took a lot of encouragement from the family, and it took a lot of collaboration to ensure not only did he have the supportive device, but he knew how to use it. It also took a lot of collaboration to make sure that he began to read on grade level. He was very intimidated by reading, especially as he moved up in grades. We really had to set some goals and create some activities. We were in constant communication to ensure what they were doing at home, they were feeling successful at it, and the child was feeling successful at it. And within 6 months, the child was on grade level. He made about a year and a half worth of progress by the end of the school year. And parents were sending me the most amazing pictures of their child reading in a restaurant while waiting for food. It was really amazing to see the transformation in such a short time. And I really attribute a lot of that to the collaborative effort that we put in with his parents.